welcome back to Chickens. Today we are going to talk about what to do if you get a very soft, leathery egg or multiple of these, how it's caused, how to fix it, and why I think it's happening in my coop. Alright, let's get on to the video.
When I say that the egg is soft and leathery, I mean that it is very squishy, the shell isn't fully calcified, it's flaking away to reveal the membrane underneath, it's not colored at all. If you sit it on its pointy end, it will stay standing because it will just change shape to fit that. And it's definitely not like your everyday egg. You can't do this to an everyday chicken egg.
When you get leathery eggs like these, it means that your hens have a calcium deficiency. But don't worry, it's a really easy fix. A calcium deficiency is simply that your hens aren't getting enough calcium, and if they can't intake enough calcium, then they can't use enough calcium to make their eggshells hard. This is an easy fix, but you will want to fix it relatively quickly because if your hens don't have enough calcium, they might eventually try and if they lay many eggs like this, they might eventually take calcium out of their bones and put it into their eggs, and that would not be good. So there are three really common ways to fix this. The first of which is crushed oyster shells. You add them into your hens' food and they eat it and it gives them extra calcium. Although sometimes they do pick around them, but when they eat them, it gives them extra calcium. The ways that I've found to acquire those is A, the easy one. You go to your local farm store and they sell them in bags already crushed. A second way to get those oyster shells is if you ever take a vacation to a beach, you know those broken oyster shells that everybody finds? Not the ones with live oysters, the broken ones that everybody finds but nobody keeps? Well, if you grab those and you can crush them with a hammer and add those into your hens' food. A third way to get them is, again, if you're somewhere tropical and you're at a restaurant that serves oysters, you can simply ask them if you could have the oyster shells that they throw away, and a lot of them actually say yes. It never hurts to ask. A second way to add calcium into your hens' diet is to use calcium powder and add it into their water. This is good for if your hens just love to eat around their calcium, because one time I tried to give my hens some crushed oyster shells and they just ate right around it. Luckily, I haven't had that problem again, but basically you take calcium powder and you stir it into their water, and then when they drink their water, it'll give them extra calcium. You can also do that with vitamins if you need to. A third and final most common way to fix calcium deficiencies in your hens is a really easy one actually. You simply, when you crack open your eggs and you fry them in a pan, you crumble up the eggshell and put it in their food. Because that way they're re-eating the calcium that they used to make the egg in the first place, and that fixes the calcium deficiency. Now on to why I think this is happening in my coop. So our chickens this winter, we've been giving them some scratch grain, just scattering it around their coop to supplement their food. Usually they eat just layer pellets, but I decided the scratch grain wouldn't hurt because usually they find stuff in the wild, so it will just help them to have variety in their diet. Only problem is that they liked it a little too much. They were only eating the scratch grain really and not as much of the layer pellets. And the layer pellets that we give them contain calcium. Most layer pellets do. All the good ones do. And so in not eating their layer pellets that have been put out for them and eating only the scratch grain that has been put out for them, they're not getting all of the nutrients that they need. I'm going to fix this in my coop by simply stopping on the scratch grain for a little while, just putting it on hold and giving them layer pellets for the next maybe week, only the layer pellets. Then I'm going to slowly add a little more scratch grain, but instead of 2 scoops scattered around, I'm going to give them 1 scoop scattered around so that they still have to rely on their layer pellets for majority of their food. Alright, so that was all about calcium deficiencies in chickens. From how to identify them when it comes to the very leathery, squishy eggs, how they're caused, which in our case was that the chickens were eating too much scratch grain and not enough layer pellets, therefore they had not enough calcium in their diet, and how to fix it by using either oyster shells, calcium powder, or eggshells are the 3 most common ways. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope to see you next time.